Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin, and I am Kevin, and here is my coffee. A little cold. I've been on the phone an hour before this and didn't have time to get a fresh hot cup of coffee, but it's still good. I hope you have your hot coffee or hot tea or whatever drink that you're drinking this morning, or whatever you put into your drink that you're drinking this morning or afternoon or evening. And I hope you're sharing a couple with me. Well, good morning. It is September 24th. Oh my goodness, we're almost through September. And we're getting into the last quarter of the year. Amazing, isn't it? It's just so amazing. Do you know what? On this date in 1789 was the first Supreme Court. Amazing. This is also Jim Henderson's birthday. I can't remember the year he was born, but this is his birthday. You remember Jim Henderson, creator of the Muppets, Kermit the Frog, and all the Muppets. So it's a famous day for some. It really, really is. But the first Supreme Court, going back that far. Yesterday was my birthday, and it reminded me of how far back I go. Now, 1789 is a lot further. But yeah. Someone wanted me to say this, that a day before today in 1960 was when the person who created Coffee with Kevin was born. Yes. So it's really cool. And it's really, again, I've talked about this, it's amazing how fast the year is moving. It's amazing how fast the year is moving. It's always, this time thing is always a thing for us. Either it moves too slow or too fast. Usually when when you get up above, your 50s and stuff like that, time seems to be moving a little too fast. However, it can move too slow when you want it to move fast, which when things aren't going well, when things aren't doing well, when you're not doing well or you're in pain, it seems like sometimes moments feel like hours. Now, yesterday on my birthday, I started my birthday off at 8 a.m. to go see the chiropractor for sciatica. I've had this for several weeks now and just started seeing a chiropractor a week or so ago. So I'm just at the beginnings. That was my third appointment, I think, yesterday. So it still bothers me. It's not sitting down right now. I'm in I don't know, no pain, just not even hardly any discomfort at all. So it's really cool. Now, if I stand up and say standing for a couple minutes, it'll come back. That's the way it is for me. Some people with sciatica, they can't sit down like I am now. And they can stand, or sometimes they can't stand or sit or lay down, which is the worst case. And I'm blessed to not have that case in my case. Okay, today we're going to talk about fear. And I thought of fear because we got an event coming up in a couple of days here. And by event, I mean it's something that we only found out about a couple of days ago, which is there is a hurricane coming our way, and we expect it here late Wednesday night and all day Thursday. And it looks like it could be a serious hurricane, a major hurricane, not just a level 1 hurricane, but a category 2 or maybe even 3 that's coming our way. So you get this fear. And a way to alleviate this fear, or any fear, is to make sure you're ready. Fear is something that is of something that could happen. Or maybe in the extremes, it's something that's happening in the moment, of course. And that's where our natural fear is there is to help us in the moment, to get away from whatever it is we're fearing. Um, but when you're fearing something that hasn't happened yet, that could happen, that might happen sometimes, sometimes just doing the work to prepare will alleviate the fear. But oftentimes, fear appears in our lives unrealistically. Fear by the acronym of um, false, false. I can't remember what the E is. I just had it in my mind a minute ago. False something appearing real. False experience appearing real, or whatever it is. But the idea is that fear itself is often of something that's not real. Something that either hasn't happened yet or probably won't happen. For most of us, our fears in life, our everyday fears, are just that. They're something that won't happen, that didn't happen. Good morning, Brenda. I got a good morning from my wife. She says, feel better soon, which she says to me all day long. And hopefully I'm going to be feeling much better really soon. So think of this fear. And when you think of the fear, the more you think of the fear and you think of what you're fearing, you can blow that up in your mind, the more fear you can get. But you just think logically, what am I afraid of? And can it really happen? Will it really happen? Does it happen to other people? You start asking questions around the fear, and questions are a really good thing to break down certain things. So start asking you the questions. Why do I fear this? Has it happened in the past? And probably has. Okay. What are the real chances of it happening again? What are the real chances of what you fear to happen? Often our fear is a catastrophizing of an event, the worst case. What are the real chances of it happening? And so when you think about the little fears you have all day long, the fears about something going wrong, about being not able to do something or doing something that will be wrong, you start thinking logically and asking yourself questions. Oftentimes this breaks down the fears and lessens them to a degree that makes it really much easier for you to deal with them. I got a few quotes today. I'm going to show this. This one says, find out what you're afraid of, and go live there. This is facing your fear. All right. Very often we have fears that are, small, but they prevent us from doing things. So this particular quote really says, okay, find out what you're afraid of, what you're truly afraid of, and go live there. Face your fear. Go ahead and check it out. This is getting out of your comfort zone. If you fear talking to someone, if you fear, doing something, go ahead and try it and do it. When you ask those questions, is it at a logical level, is it really dangerous? If something's dangerous to your life, like you fear jumping off a bridge, you should fear that. It's dangerous. But if you fear going to the DMV, for instance, right, in long crowds, and what's going to happen, you find out, you may suffer some waiting, but you find out you get your thing done and you can get it over with. And after it's all said and done, there's really no problem. Right. So whatever you fear, whether it's, talking to certain people or speaking in front of people, finishing a project, go live in that fear. Do what you fear. Another one I like is do one thing every day that scares you. These are, for people who have a lot of different fears about small things. Just get out of your comfort zone and do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt's a very wise woman. And another one is, what the mind doesn't understand, it worships or fears. Very often our fears are around things we don't fully understand. If we fully understood them, we probably wouldn't be afraid of them. We only understand them to a portion. This is interesting. I'd never heard this before. What the mind doesn't understand, it worships or fears. It worships, meaning it puts a lot of faith in. In order to comprehend something, if you can't fully comprehend it, you can either say, it's something I don't want, I'm going to stay away from, I'm fearing, or it's something I'm going to just adopt, and I'm going to have it as a belief. Worship doesn't mean, doesn't necessarily mean in a spiritual way. It means you really take it on as a solid belief. So yeah, there are different things that can happen. Good morning, watching here from the Philippines. Well, welcome, Mon Anthony. So yeah, we're talking about fears, and these are the things that prevent us from doing things. These are the things that hold us back, and they usually hold us back from being free. There were a lot of quotes. I didn't choose any of them that talks about getting beyond your fear is your freedom. And we all have experienced that, haven't we? When we had a fear and we overcome that fear, all of a sudden we're very free to do what we couldn't do before. And that's freedom. And when we can get past our fear is a real natural thing. And you'll say, okay, fears protect us. And that's exactly what it's meant to be. We have this fight or flight thing in our brain, and it's primitive. It was built a long, long time ago. And through evolution, we've kept it because it works for us. So it turns our body into the thing that it needs to do to either fight or fly or run, right? So it turns our body with the chemicals, the adrenaline, the cortisol, whatever it is. So it's meant to help us when we are in danger of not surviving. That's what it's there for. It wasn't meant to be there on our daily lives when the danger is not a survival danger, but just a little danger of getting out of our comfort zone. Because most of the time, that's the fear we have, is getting out of our comfort zone. Yes, we do have real honest to goodness fears. If there's anything that's physically dangerous to us, yes, that's okay to fear. And fear, by the way, is like pain. It's a signal. It says, hey, I'm feeling something. Let's do something about it. Let's take off. Let's get away from this. That's what fear is. It's to help us. But if it's not something that's a threat to your life, all it's doing is keeping you from experiencing things that you should be able to experience, from getting beyond what you are in life now. That's what fear does. It keeps us back. It holds us back. So a couple of things we can do is we can start to do things that we fear every day. Small things. Start off with the small things. I was talking to somebody who really loves certainty. And for those people, fear are a big thing because there's a lot of things in our lives that are uncertain. They love certainty so much that they love to, drive the same way to work every single day, drive the same way there, drive the same way back. If they get detoured, if they, for some reason they have to take a different way, it makes them feel uncomfortable. It's a level of fear. So there's one thing they could do is start on a regular basis, taking different roads to and from work. and that'll get them used to it. Now they don't have to. They can go back to take the most efficient way, and they might find a more efficient way by taking different ways. The fact is they don't take different ways, so they don't know if there's a more efficient way or not. And they're not concerned about that. They're concerned about they know the way it is now, and they're comfortable with it. Fear is all about comfort. Fear is all about staying in our comfort zone. When we do something that we fear, it's out of our comfort zone. So perhaps we do need to do one thing every day that scares us. Get out of our comfort zone. That's a way to start dealing with your fears. Another way to start dealing with your fears is asking yourself all those logical questions about it. It doesn't always work because the subconscious mind is much more powerful than the conscious, and those logical questions come from the conscious. But sometimes they just nick away at that belief, at that fear, and start to reveal that fear is false evidence. That's what it is. False evidence appearing real. Fear. So when you start asking yourself questions, why am I fearing this? Do other people fear this? Why don't other people fear this? What's different about me than other people? Is it possible that this fear is false? So you start asking yourself all those questions, and that will also help you break down the fear and maybe make it easier for you to face the fear when you need to. So the idea today is to get over the fear. The idea today is to start to find your freedom beyond those fears. All right, this has been Coffee with Kevin, and I really enjoyed sharing this with you. I really enjoyed being able to talk to you and possibly, hopefully help you here. If you like this, please comment, please share with other people. I appreciate it. You take care and have a wonderful day. Have an incredible week. By the way, let me back up and say, hey, I know you know how to make it a wonderful day and how to make it an incredible week. It's in your hands. It's your choice. Take care all. Bye-bye.